And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Jeff Whipple, a member of the Digital Learning Lead team from Anglophone West School District. And welcome to LearnEast 2020. And this afternoon's session is Connection and Assessment with FlipGrid. Just a reminder that this afternoon's session is being recorded, and we will be having the recorded sessions up online for you to review at a later date. Want to welcome Tiffany Buckler to the platform today. And Tiffany is a math teacher from Minto Memorial High School. And this afternoon, as I said, she is going to be talking about connection and assessment with FlipGrid. Just a reminder that if you're in today's session, we'll ask you to keep your mics closed. But if you do have any questions during the session, please add them to the meeting text chat, and we'll pass them along to Tiffany to answer at the close of the session today. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise today, Tiffany, and it is all yours.
All right, hi. As Jeff said, my name is Tiffany. Just a quick check to make sure everyone can hear me. Are we good?
You are good.
Perfect. Okay. So as Jeff said, we're going to talk about FlipGrid, and basically what I wanted to go through is kind of a beginner's guide. This is what it is, how to do some things within it, and then of course I want to talk about some of the things that I did during the last few months of school that were definitely a little unexpected. So if you want, I do have Twitter and Instagram at Buckler Math if you wanted to reach out afterwards. Okay, so let's get started. My slide would work. Hold on. There we go. All right, so basically what FlipGrid, it's a social learning platform, and you can throw out a question to your students and they can respond in video format. This can be done anytime, and usually my kids ended up doing odd recordings about midnight because I teach high school, and I would get notifications all through the night. The other option that I used it for a lot was doing little mini lessons on issues that my students had with any questions or topics that we were covering. And what I found worked the best was having a school email. I did let them create accounts, and then I ended up getting several inappropriate names, and we had several discussions about what was a good online presence. So for this year, I think I'm going to stick with, use your school email, please, guys. They do need to have something that has a webcam attached to it, so it can either be a laptop, they can use their phone, or iPad as well. And on the teacher end, I found it really helpful to have a tablet because as I said, I teach math and I like to do whiteboard videos. So I went out and bought myself a little Gammon tablet. It works fairly well, and it was pretty cheap, so that's always exciting. And basically, to get started, all you do is you can Google FlipGrid and it'll take you straight into it. All right, so getting started. The first thing I like to do is I like to set up my groups. So because I teach high school, I split it up into the subject area I teach. So for instance, this year I'm teaching Geometry, Measurement, and Finance 10. I have 2 sessions of that. I keep it all into one group rather than having 2 separate periods, because it's kind of fun to let everyone see what the other class is up to. And then you make topics for your groups. So your topic can range from, hey, how's your day going, to maybe something more specific about a math problem that you wanted to cover with your class. And then you go and assign it. So you have to assign it to your specific group. And then you send out the code for everyone so they can start sending you some video responses. All right. Now, the other day when I was making my presentation, FlipGrid went down, so I got a little bit paranoid. I do have a bunch of slides that goes through the process, but I think it actually might be more fun if I hop over to the website and actually make some stuff. So this is the website right here. It's info.flipgrid.com. And you can, well, I already have an account, so I would use the login, but for those of you that are new, you just go to the sign up button. All right. So this is what pops up when you load up. It goes automatically into the groups section. To create a group, it's really simple. You just go hit create the group. So for a group name, for instance, I'm teaching pre-calc 12A. Then you can change these to whatever you would like. So if I just wanted Buckler period 3, I think this semester, type in Buckler period 3. Nice, simple, straightforward. It does do a quick check to let you know it's available. And the most important thing I find is they have to join with an email. And for this part, all you do is type the ending for what our student emails look like. I also like to put our teacher domain as well, just in case I want to co-teach with someone, or if I want a principal or to be able to join. You can also, yes, sorry.
Just it's I know we've been away for a long while. It's at nbss.nbed.ca, and there's a particular one here too that you have to use with @student if you're going to use the @student.nbs.nbed.
All right. Well, I'll fix that later, but
you can just take those two out and then.
All right. So. And then if you wanted to maybe have a guest join in, you can also type in some password. So. Oh. All right, there we go. And then of course you can share. In this particular one, you can share it directly to Teams by selecting that button. And a very exciting load screen. You can share it to a channel. You can search pretty easily as long as you know what your team names are. So my pre-calculus class is right there. And you just hit share. So again, you just have to know what your team is called within your school setting, and then you hit share, and then it'll pop up in the general chat. You can also set up separate channels. So if you wanted to have a FlipGrid channel, you could set that up as well. Or if you wanted to have an assignments tab, again, whatever channels you want to set up, you can have it go directly to those channels. And we close that out. We hit go to group. There we go. So to go to the group, if you want to have a topic that's specific to this group, you can create a topic within your group. Or if, for instance, you wanted to have more of a general thing, like introduce yourself to the teacher, you can go back to the discussion tab where you can see all of your groups. And we go to topics, and we hit add a topic. So, like I just said, let's try and introduce yourself. Let's go and bear title. And then you could put whatever prompt you want the kids to see. I like to write a very short little introduction to let them know what it is I expect of them in this. there we go. So we're going to say, introduce yourself to the class and give 3 interesting facts about yourself. You can change how long the videos are. They can go up to 10 minutes in length. I like to give them a little bit of extra room, so I give them maximum 5 minutes. Now, I find this particular tab right here is really important. Video moderation makes it so you view the video first before it gets shared and everyone else can see. So until I know my kids, I like to turn this on just in case I have somebody that likes to be a little bit more silly and put things up that really shouldn't be. And the cool thing is, if say you were throwing up a math problem that had a good picture to go with it, you can add other media as well. So you can add an emoji, you can add a picture to go with it. One thing that I've been finding kind of fun in my GMF class, I've been popping in news ELA articles for them to read and respond to. And again, the access control is set up through their student email, and you can give a guest password for there as well. Oops. And just for today, because and there we go, great. And then of course you share to your team, or you can send out that link as well. Actually, I'm probably not going to share that with my kids. I teach in a small school, so I actually know all of them already. And then we just hit all set. And then you go back to your discussion tab. As you can see now, we have our topic set up, but you can see in the group tab, it's not actually set up to go to any particular group. So to add to our group, you can add it to my pre-calculus. It's added there. And if you take a look, you'll see right here, it says, introduce yourself. Also, if you make a topic and you share it to the group and all of a sudden you decide, oh, it's too early, I don't want them to see that yet, you can change it from active to hidden. So that was how you make the group and how you make a topic really quick. The thing that I found the most helpful, again, when I was teaching math, if you take a look, I've made myself a whole bunch of what they call shorts. Now what shorts are, they are 10-minute little videos that you can create and share with your class on basically anything you like. I don't think it's going to let me record, so I'm going to go back to my presentation here for a minute. As we wait, here we go. All right. I forgot about this part before we get into what the shorts are. So once you send it out, if the students have installed the app on their phone for FlipGrid, which I highly recommend that they do, makes it a lot easier for them to record. This is what they'll see on their app. So they would hit their join code that is available on the groups tab. And then when they go into their class, they'll see a topic that I've assigned. So you see there, I have online learning. I found an article from News ELA that gives strategies for what makes a good online learner. And then they hit on the button that says submit your answer. So then it takes them into a recording. They can have the option of putting it into either selfie mode where you can see the student themselves, or they can switch it over to a whiteboard, which a lot of my students were a little bit camera shy, so they would rather just have the whiteboard up and they would draw things out. There's also an option where they can type out their answer. They could just talk over their answer. They can put pictures in. There's all sorts of interesting things they can do. And actually, FlipGrid just upgraded over the weekend, and they've put in a whole bunch of new changes, which are actually really cool, specifically for the Shorts tab. And I'm still learning about them right now as myself. Then once they're done their recording, you go over to the submit your video. They type in their first name, last name, and then they just hit submit. Now, once they have submitted their learning to you, what you get to see is what's here. So you go down, you click the topic, and it pops up this window. You get to see one of your responses. You'll see that it's hidden because I turned on the moderator.
Tiffany, we're just seeing your face. Did you mean for us to see your face?
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I thought I had that up. Is it showing now?
Yep, good now.
Good now. Okay, cool. Well, that was unfortunate. Gotta love technology. All right, so as I was saying, this is how you review the responses. And you just click on it. And then once you do that, you're able to give feedback on the response. So you can type it in, you can record a video message of you telling them what you thought, and then you can send it to their email. Then they'll get an email, and it's really kind of cool because it has all the accessible options. So they have the option of having the feedback read to them by the computer. And if I'd send a video, there would be a tab right here that would say play video. All right. We're going good stuff. Now, so for the shorts are primarily what I ended up using during our online learning. Okay, so for the shorts, basically all you do is you hit record a video, and all you need is your teacher laptop because it has a webcam. Our microphone is okay. It does pick up a lot of background noise, so I do recommend maybe getting a headset with a mic on it so it picks up your voice a little bit more clearly. But if that's an issue, the computer does work. So the thing about shorts is it automatically pulls up into selfie mode, and if you're anything like me, you have the camera at a weird angle, so you end up seeing your double chin quite a bit. For me, what I like to do, I like to switch it over to the whiteboard right away, because again, I teach math, so it's a lot of writing out problems. And the kind of cool thing that came out when I'm making videos is you can actually split it. So when you hit on the options tab, and this pops up, and it can switch it over to the whiteboard. Again, I teach math, so I use the graph paper background quite a bit. And you can actually move the slider left to right, and it'll give you your camera whatever portion of the video you would like to see. They also have options where you can upload a clip that you had pre-recorded as well, and you can change your audio settings. And you can record your screen as well, which is a new feature, so I haven't played around with that at the moment. Okay. So once you get into the recording, there's actually a progress bar along the top, so it'll let you see how much time is remaining. I tend to go overboard, so I have to do a lot of self-editing at the end. And again, like I said, there is a 10-minute cap on the length of your video, so just keep that in mind when you're making videos. Within your video, if you hit the options tab again, the same as the kids, you're able to upload text. You can put photos in. You can use the drawing tab, which as a math teacher, that's what I do the most because I'm solving problems that aren't typing friendly. And then once you're done your recording, you hit stop, and then you can go and review. It actually gives a really good playback. So you're able to go through and check to see if you made any small mistakes, or if your cat jumped on your lap and you've all of a sudden screamed, you can edit that out later and redo that section. And at the very end, they like you to take a selfie. This is where I like to put kind of a title of what my video is about so the kids are able to see. So for instance, so I was teaching factoring by grouping. That's what I do for my selfie. I change it over to the whiteboard because I don't really like being on camera. And I like to put a funny picture up. And then from here, you just can upload it to your Teams tab, and it is good to go. Then, so some things that I've learned from the kids while I was making my videos, they like when I make the images myself, and they like when there's more diagrams in the videos. They said sometimes I have a tendency to overcomplicate my instructions, so they've suggested that perhaps I keep it short and simple. Again, speaking clearly, that's kind of an obvious, but I do tend to speak quickly. So that was a suggestion from the students. The great thing is you can also turn on closed captioning for the students. It actually automatically goes, but you're able to review what the closed captioning thinks you're saying, and you're able to make subtle changes afterwards when you're reviewing. And it says, another suggestion, they said they didn't like when I used a lot of text. They didn't like when I made it look silly. They liked a little bit more straightforward. Okay. All right, so now for the more fun part. These are just some things that I did myself with my classroom. I always like to have a topic that was Ask the Teacher. So again, this is where I got the most of my response from my students. They would submit a video asking for clarification on certain topics, and then I was able to make a video myself to address any issues that they were having. For that one, I actually made it so the students were able to respond to the videos as well. Another thing that I found was kind of fun to do with the kids were to teach their own topic. So I would assign them a topic at the beginning of a unit, and they would throw out about a 10-minute video. Again, it's capped at 10 minutes, so get my more shy kids feeling a little bit more confident in their abilities. Then they'd have to talk for a half hour like I would normally do when we were in the classroom. And they would teach a topic to the class. It could be something simple from what's a radical to how you would solve for a y-intercept, depending on what class I was teaching. Another thing that I found really fun to do with them was putting up graphs and having them explain to me what the graph was in the picture. And because I teach GMF a lot, we usually throw up a lot of logic problems, and the kids would solve those. They could do video responses to that. I would pose different questions asking about what strategies they could use. They didn't necessarily have to show their solution. They would just describe their process. I would use News ELA quite a bit as well and do the read and respond. So I would put up an article and ask them a few questions and have them respond, or I would just have them do a general response. And then another thing that I found quite fun to do with them was math debates. So for instance, questions like, what's the superior multiplication sign, because we would frequently get into arguments over if you should use the X or if you should use the dot or if you should use brackets. So I threw it out to the kids and let them defend their options. Surprisingly enough, they all liked the dot multiplication the most because they found it less confusing with the algebra. Some other topics that are just kind of general that I've found when I've been looking for things to do with them. Again, you can do the introduce yourself. You can set up student portfolios. You can have the kids do TED Talks. I also like doing meet the teacher videos. And I also like to throw on some experiments for them to see. All right, so I did do a little activity so you guys can kind of see what it's like, at least from the student end. So if at some point you would like to go to that link right there, and then it'll prompt you to make a short video. Again, you don't have to do this. I thought it would just be kind of fun. And yes. So I think I want to open it up. So Jeff, do we have questions?
We do have a few questions. So there's lots of interest in this. So let me just poke down through here. Crystal Roberts had a couple of questions. So her first question was, can you pre-schedule? So if you know you're going to be away, can you set up an activity to be released at, a particular day or time?
Not currently. I really recommend downloading the app. Actually, on your phone, it's really quite simple to just pop over, log in, and then you can put it as active.
So you could have it all set up as hidden and then just
you would just hide it and then you would place it as active later on when you want it to show up.
But
you can't do a date though.
Okay. And Crystal also had another question. The feedback read, when it reads back the feedback, does it read it will it do other languages other than English, I guess, specifically French?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Let me see. Do students get, Jeannie Chasson said, do students get to see all the other students' videos or responses?
They will. In the tab where I said to put on the moderation, after you view the video, you can change their status from hidden to visible, and then the other students are able to see the responses.
Okay, so if you moderate them, they don't. They go to you first.
Yeah, moderation goes to the teacher first, and then afterwards it can go straight to the kids and everyone can see. And they can also respond to the videos.
So they can respond to each other.
Yes.
Okay. Lori Tracy asked, how did you get to the shorts again?
Okay. See if it will let me. All right. So what normally, can everyone see that before I start going crazy?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. So it should load up to the discussion tab once you log in. Now to get to shorts, it's right on the top. And you just click shorts. And once you want to start making a video, you can hit record a video.
Cool.
And it loads up really quick. Actually, I'm curious if it'll let me do it when I'm trying to present.
I've tried it before, it doesn't, so.
Yeah, I didn't think it would. I was playing earlier.
Yeah, it steals your mic. Your microphone is stolen, so.
All right.
Okay, are there any other questions? I don't see anything else right now. Let's go back down to the bottom. Nope, nothing as of right now. If I'm missing a question, oh, somebody is asking, what's the password for the LearnEast 2020 FlipGrid?
All right.
They're eager to get in. Oh, never mind, I'm in, sorry. They're in, Laura. That's
Okay.
good. So yeah, you just have to log in using your teacher account, I guess. Good. So that's it for questions.
Yes. All right. I talk fast. This is the first time I've ever presented. I'm slightly nervous.
Oh, that's okay. Good.
Oh, so how I used it for assessment?
Yep.
Sorry, I popped up the chat video. For the assessment, typically when they're giving responses, I would usually use them as primarily formative assessment, so I could see how they were learning myself, and I would keep a tab of like, yeah, they understand the topic, no, they don't understand the topic. And they could also have, like when I was doing the reading, I would give them a mark out of 5. So again, it's the same as doing any other little activity in your class. You would, and I believe when you're sending the feedback to them, to their video, you do have the option of scoring them as well. There are several little topics that you could give them scores out of. You can set those up yourself. All right. Any other questions?
No, just lots of good comments. So thank you very much. And I think people are eager to get on and start using this. One point, Krista was saying that this is the main platform presented as assessment for grade 5 intensive French this year. I didn't know that, so that's great. So thank you for sharing. I think people are going to be excited to try to get using this. So.
Oh yeah, it would be great for assessing language because you could have the students show their learning, their reading abilities.
Yeah.
I find it would probably be easier to use for a language course or an English course. I have fun with the math because of the whiteboard myself. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is as the semester goes on and you're done a topic, you can actually go to a section of it that says mixtapes. I could just switch that over. All right. You can go to mixtapes, and then when students respond to things, you can make a mixtape, and so you would hit create mixtape. This is my new account because I changed my name recently, so now I want it to match. And once you make your mixtape, you can add videos to it from specific students. And it actually ends up working a little bit as a student portfolio, which is really interesting.
So you can create a mixtape for each student?
Yeah, for each student, or you can do it by topic as well.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Tiffany. There's a lot of people getting some good feedback, and I think people found that very interesting. I think so. The nice thing about FlipGrid is that it is a Microsoft product, and so it uses the same login and username and login as our students have already. So you don't have to create a new username and password. They can just continue to use the one that they've got. So it's a nice addition to that.
Oh, also one quick thing before everyone signs off. There are a lot of resources available. Specifically, I really like the Facebook group, the FlipGrid Educators. They have there's a lot of experts on there that'll help you if you're having issues with it, as well as a lot of really cool ideas. And on Twitter, if you follow the hashtag FlipGrid or FlipGrid Fever, there are tons and tons of ideas that pop up. So it's really fun to share with other educators that way.
Good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us and share of your expertise and your experience with FlipGrid. And thank you to everybody who joined us today at today's LearnEast session. I just put the link in the side, showing there twice. If you're fill that out, click on the link, and you could be eligible to win one of several door prizes at today's closing session, and that goes at 3:45. Our next session block starts at 2:30. You don't have to be present to win this afternoon. So if you know you're not going to be able to be there, it doesn't matter. Put your name in anyway. And if you're one of the winners, we will contact you. And we'd ask that you only complete the form once for every session. That concludes today's session. And on behalf of LearnEast and our participants, Tiffany, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today. A reminder to everyone to please click on the link in the chat. And hopefully we'll see you again at 3:45.